Who is the most important person in your life? Many children, as well as me, would say that their mother is the most important person in their life. Throughout my entire life, I've met many different people. However, nobody is more important and has a greater influence on my life than this person. Generally, most kids can say they have very influential parents. However, today I would like to pay a special tribute to my mother. My mom is a great example of someone who is hardworking, caring, and supportive of whatever I do. My mom is the hardest working person that I know. A good example of this would be that she owns her own court reporting business, which takes a lot of hard work in order to stay in touch with her attorneys and keep the business running. Another thing that comes to my mind about my mom is that she always gets home late and still manages to cook an amazing dinner after a long day at work, no matter how tired she is. Lastly, an example of my mom being hardworking would be that before she does anything fun, she always gets her work done and always makes it her best work too. I remember one night before we went out to dinner to our favorite restaurant, the Cheesecake Factory, my mom had to get a very important job out, and even though we were a little late for our reservations, it was worth the wait. In addition to being very hardworking, my mother's also very supportive of what I do, whether it has to do with school or sports. One time, I remember when I was in a slump in baseball, my mom took a time out of her day to drive me to the batting cages in Mansfield and watch me hit baseballs until I finally got out of my slump. Another great example of my mom being supportive is when my math grade started to slip. She helped me study every night before a big test or quiz, and since that didn't help my grades that much, she spent money on a tutor for me. Also, my mom is always in the bleachers of my sporting events, cheering me on and waiting until the game was over to compliment me on how I played, even if I didn't have a great game. In addition to being supportive, my mother is also very caring towards me and other people as well. An example is when my mom thought I looked sick one day. She had me skip school and brought me to the doctor to get checked out. And even though it turned out to be just a minor cold, it was the thought that counted. Another time that I can remember my mother caring for others is when we were in New York City. There was a homeless man sitting on the corner of the sidewalk asking for spare change, and it seemed like everybody walked by without even noticing him. However, my mom had the heart to stop and give the man money, which I'm sure made him very happy. So I hope you have realized what a thoughtful and hardworking person and parent my mother is. I'm sure most children's parents are very special in their own way, but I hope you can see how my mother's caring, supportiveness, and hardworking traits have helped everybody around her, including me. The impact and influence my mother has had on me is what makes me so successful in both school and in sports. My mother has made my life and others a lot better, and I look forward to her having an even bigger influence on my life as I grow older and step into the real world.